do you not think that the Shanghai Cooperation Organization provides a vibrant platform for Pakistan and other members or affiliated countries to explore great economic ties and cooperation within the region, especially in trade, investment, energy, innovation, as rightly pointed out by Asad, entrepreneurship, transport and connectivity?
Absolutely. You've enumerated a very powerful list of options that exist for Pakistan to engage with the SCO member countries. As you are well aware, the global center of economic gravity has shifted eastward and southward for the past 30 years. And now the global center of economic activity is very much in and around Pakistan. And SCO countries basically form a locational axis around Pakistan, a bit to the north, a bit to the east, a bit to the west, a bit to the south, and they are all on, I think, of one mind in terms of the need for translating what is a reality of economic growth and prosperity into a shared vision, co-prosperity sphere. And I think that the SCO is, if not the most important, one of the most important such fora in the world for new avenues of cooperation that go beyond the system that has existed since 1945, which is outdated, doesn't reflect the world's demographics, the world's economics, the world's politics. And so the SCO is part of a new wave of change in the world order for the better.
Definitely, you are absolutely right. When we are talking about SCO's position on significant global issues such as terrorism and economic growth are consistent to the Pakistan's foreign policy objectives and even the internal and the economic objectives, then why is the case that we are still lagged behind in economic integration with the SCO countries, especially bilateral trade volume, investments and connectivity?
It's a very good question, because in principle we have a complete alignment with the values of the SCO. That is by design, because the SCO is designed in a manner to be inclusive and respectful. It is not something that is the product of colonialism or violence like
Obviously.
other big arrangements in the world. Instead, it is a new arrangement. Therefore, it aligns very well with us, and it aligns with just about everybody.
Obviously.
And yet, as you have correctly mentioned, there is some gap between the level of integration that is possible and what we currently have on the ground. I believe this is because of the heterogeneous nature of membership in the SCO. The SCO comprises countries that are part of one geographical area, more or less, but their worldviews are quite different. That is to say that something like China, Russia, India, Belarus, Kazakhstan, Pakistan, these are all large countries, they're all important countries, and they're the product of complex historical processes with even lingering animosities among some members. So with so much heterogeneity, you can start from a basic premise that we have some common shared values and some grand objective of co-prosperity, harmony, peace and respect. That is fair. But in order to realize that integration, we also have to take cognizance of the heterogeneity that exists among the countries. There is, for example, quite a bit of demographic heterogeneity. The world's largest, second largest, and fifth largest countries are in this organization. And then territorially, the largest, third largest, eighth largest are in this organization. And at the same time, there's some very small countries in it too. So how do you get everybody to integrate to an equal amount? I think it is done at a different pace. And the systems are different, they're heterogeneous, but you can still do it in a measured pace without encroaching. The important thing is, it's all right to go slowly. Slow and steady wins the race. As long as you do it in a measured and comprehensive fashion, you can do it slowly, because
again, I think so that it's the beauty of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Charter that aligns itself with the UN Charter. And a UN Charter has a beauty that every country which is the member of the UN is the sovereign country and have a territorial geographical integrity. So the thing is that all countries are same when it comes to the SCO, but yes, of course, it takes time to implement all those. So Dr. Chohan, China has invested around 2 to 3 billion in agriculture, particularly in research and development, and joint ventures within the SCO member states, especially for advanced farm tax, seed development, sustainable agriculture products, and all others. Pakistan has the focus on green revolution under the Special Investment Facilitation Council, SIFC. Can we get benefit out of the Chinese agriculture sector funding which is available there at the SCO platform?
Yes, absolutely. This is a very good area for cooperation because it is first and foremost funding, that's good, but there's also a lot of technical expertise that is available in China for a common problem. China has done a remarkable thing over the last 50 years in combating the desert, fighting the desert. What it has done is really astounding, and ironically other parts of the world like to take credit for globalization, but actually it was China's hard work on fighting the desert. That fighting the desert is also our problem because we have a large territory, perhaps not compared to China, but in absolute terms it's a very large country, and half of it is desert. Half of it is totally unpopulated. So the other part, which is the banks of the Indus River, are very populated. How do we encroach and take back land from the desert? This challenge, I think no country can help us with this better than China.
Yeah, definitely, no doubt about that. Yes, we can do it, but we have to actually replicate what the China successfully done in the Gobi Desert particularly. Under the concept of multilateralism, why not to restore the ancient Silk Route through contemporary road and rail transport facilitation amongst the SCO member nations to transform regional connectivity? And do you not think that in today's political economy, such restoration would be both economically and strategically viable?
It would be economically and strategically viable. It would actually add a layer of security to the entire region because of the interconnectedness of the corridors, economic corridors. So it would be very positive. It is a bigger challenge to do this in our era than in the ancient Silk Road because nation states did not exist back then, and so there were not the sorts of visa controls, borders and stuff in the way that we find today. Actually, both land and maritime movement throughout the Asian heartland was far, far easier back then, particularly after Pax Mongolica in the 13th century. We don't have that kind of environment today, and the thing is, all nation states want some cut from this, some level of fiscal gain from it. This competition also complicates the movement, the free movement of goods and people.
Obviously.
But there are some merits to look at common interests. I don't, for example, believe that there should be an SCO currency because we need that monetary flexibility and freedom. And there's many examples from within the EU that we know you don't want to just pass this monetary sovereignty to some higher power. The second thing is, if there are things within the SCO, we also have to be very careful about what we gain from that. Just taking every single measure at face value would not be advantageous to Pakistan. It would be more advantageous to other countries in the SCO. So we have to find our niche within this.
Definitely.
And that is actually a careful challenge. We need to have more debate about which elements within SCO maximize our gain while also helping others out.
Definitely, you are absolutely right. So right now, two main hurdles in SCO economic integration and development are the regional terrorism and unstable Afghanistan. That's why SCO security cooperation and eradication of three evil forces like terrorism, separatism and religious extremism is inevitable to address right now. So in this context particularly, how much SCO Afghanistan engagement is vital to address the connectivity issues for the real-time economic development and integration among the SCO member states?
This is a very important point because you will see that the SCO spans a variety of development levels as well as security levels. If you compare them, Afghanistan is a problem case. It's been a problem case for 40 years, and the arrangements of power there right now are inherently unstable. There are questions about legitimacy. The outside world, for example, does not recognize what is happening there. So this makes it very hard for all neighboring countries. For Pakistan, Pakistan has given so much to Afghanistan and only gotten thanklessness in return. But Pakistan is a responsible country and knows that the prosperity and security of neighbors ensures its security too. The same is true for China. So we have to gradually work on the legitimation the stability, the normalization of socio-cultural, political and technological forces in Afghanistan, so that comes up to the base measure. The base measure of the SCO is actually quite high because there's USSR legacy states, there's so much progress in China. Pakistan has moved forward so far in 75 years. So there's a lot for Afghanistan to catch up on, and so all countries need to be helpful while also telling the arrangements of power there that they cannot continue on an ad hoc basis. They need normalcy and provide that normalcy to their neighbors.
Definitely, you're absolutely right.